The sequel, I don't think anyone's been waiting for, got released this weekend in theaters. Don't Breathe 2 turns Stephen Lang into the protagonist as we're rooting for him to protect his daughter from men who want to take her for her organs. This second film seemed to switch up the tone from the first movie. I recall the blind man being the antagonist of the first film, not such a likable guy. Here they take it and make him likable because of how popular he was in the first film. And this sequel was made because the first film was such a success. The writer brought back Stephen Lang as the blind man to be the hero in this sequel. And no wonder they made the sequel because the movie made $157 plus million on a $10 million budget. So they're trying to do the same thing here with this sequel. The movie is directed and written by Rodo, Sayagues, starring Stephen Lang, Brendan Saxton III, Madelyn Grace, and Stephanie Arcila. This is Rodo's first directed film in his career. You know this by how he sets up scenes before death. He would show the shot of the weapon that would use to hurt that individual beforehand. Everything seemed to be foreshadowed in some way. For example, the movie would show a pitchfork, and then a few seconds later, that pitchfork was going through someone's body part. The movie is really just all over the place with its characters as well. You see a character running to hide in the camera panning, then the next thing you know, they're on the other side of the house with flash level speeds without making a sound. It was unbelievable for me, and it was just paced wrong, I guess, in some way. uh Another problem I had was with the writing of the characters, in particular the villains. They make meth while also being terrible parents. The movie could have just left them as meth addicts who take their young child's organs. Instead, they're getting a totally new plot element in the third act of the movie. The little girl in the movie is faced with a good dilemma and is acted okay by the girl, but she has to make a choice at some point in the movie. But then the movie just throws in a much unneeded, just throws in unneeded stuff surrounding this dilemma that just didn't need. It could have just been simple. The movie needed to keep it simple, like the first one did. This first one, it seemed really simple story, and this one just tried to be more than that, and it just didn't work. You just need to identify the good guys and bad guys and let them fight and let the deaths happen. The movie does have a lot of cool death scenes that are brutal with blood pouring all over the place. There's one guy who just kept getting injured throughout and staying alive, and it was a great like storyline through. They would just get more hurt and eventually die from some big blow. I just wish the movie would have kept the action in a contained place rather than expanding the environment with multiple locations for this movie. This movie takes place in a rundown hotel as well as the house Stephen Lang lives in. This is where the whole movie should have taken place, in the hotel, though, I feel, just to give it a little different twist than the first one. Because the house scenes kind of seem the same as the first movie with a few different elements changed. And then the jump in time between the two locations was inconsistent. You felt like some stuff should have happened between the times and didn't happen. So you're just kind of questioning that and why certain things didn't happen based on how much time has passed between the two locations. But the best part of this movie was definitely the sound design. You heard every creak in the floor with each footstep. The movie should be nominated for sound awards at the end of this year, but probably won't because of it's a horror genre cliche about the Oscars and just big awards in general not honoring the horror genre. I mean, the first one hardly got nominated for anything, and it was great in sound design as well. Just small award show nominations here and there for it. It was just what a shame, because these movies really intensify the action so much with the sound design and making the movie more compelling. It's a great use and great job by the sound editors. It should be highlighted in Hollywood more, these horror movies with great sound design that get you on the edge of your seat. Don't Breathe 2 goes into a different direction than the first one with more story elements, but still having intense scenes because of the sound design, along with cool deaths. I do prefer the first movie over this one though. So I give Don't Breathe 2 a score of 46 out of 100. I think the movie could have been improved, although I like the concept, enjoyed seeing the cat and mouse game on the big screen of this guy, blind man, hunting these intruders in his house and then chasing after them to the hotel at the end of the movie. Don't Breathe 2 is out in theaters now, so go check it out this weekend. Form your own opinions. Let me know in the comments what you thought. And then, real quick, at the end of these movies, the top five. So for this movie, I'll do top five sound design. So these movies are where the sound stood out for me and it felt like a character on its own. At number five is Mad Max Fury Road. And number four is Whiplash, great little musical movie where the music plays a big part of the center and you just hear the drum beats every time they get hit. Top Gun is my third, which is just amazing with the aircrafts whooshing by and all that. Number two is a newer movie that came out last year, I believe, Sound of Metal, with a deaf guy, and you just get that hearing impairing going back and forth in the sound design. And the best sound design movie, I think, is Gravity. Such a great space movie, and you get that, like, you get immersed in space because of the sound techniques they use and just that air getting sucked away. It's just a great, Gravity is a great movie with great sound design, great music, and then great acting as well. It's just an overall great movie that should be highlighted more. Thank you for watching, guys.